alum. Welcome once again to Bowie State University's 158th Founders Day celebration. Our theme for this year, Legacy and Honor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. BSU. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors. National anthem, the singing of the national anthem. Lift every voice and sing, and a moment of reflection, followed by our university president, Dr. Minter H. Bro.
Color guard, post the colors. Group, halt. Left, face. Post. Colors. Present arms.
The dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? America, America the brave.
Order, arms. Left, face. Archive, march.
This nation will rise up, liberated. We hold it to be self-evident that all
every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring.
remain standing for the moment of centering.
Can we all take a moment of silence on today's Founders Day to acknowledge and respect those who founded Bowie State University? Thank you. Let's give ourselves the opportunity to take a moment to reflect on the lives of those who created a foundation and left a legacy for students like us who are able to seek a higher education at this illustrious Bowie State University. And lastly, can we have a moment of silence for students, staff, faculty, and alumni we have lost?
Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, Bowie State University. BSU. BSU. I love it. I never get tired of that. Good morning, everyone. I am Aminta Bro, the very proud 10th president of Bowie State University, the oldest HBCU in the state of Maryland. And I am so very pleased to have all of you here today as we commemorate the 158th anniversary of the founding of Bowie State University. So what is today about? What is Founders Day all about? Today is a special day in the calendar for our university where we pause and reflect upon the past to honor the memories of those who have traveled this way before, and to remind ourselves of the responsibility we bear to their legacies by paving the way forward for the next generation of learners. Today, we will also recognize the achievements of current students while also honoring the impact faculty and staff have had in guiding the path for our students and advancing our Racing to Excellence strategic plan. I would like to acknowledge, there's so many people to acknowledge who make each and every day possible here at Bowie State University. But I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Founders Day Planning Committee members. Please give them a rousing round of applause. All of our student participants on the program, the University Concert Band under the direction of Mr. Billy Bennett, the ROTC Bulldog Battalion under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Kareem Fernandez. And today we are honored to have Captain Campbell serving in his stead as Lieutenant Colonel Fernandez could not be with us today. And then we have Professor Brandon Felder and Golden Treble for the musical renditions, and to all of you attending today's ceremony. Please give all of them a rousing round of applause. We extend a special Bowie State University welcome back to our keynote speaker, Mr. Derrick A. Young, a BSU alumnus, class of 1999. He is also the co-founder of MahoganyBooks, and we welcome him back. And I also want to acknowledge and ask her to stand, Ramonda Young. Welcome to Bowie State University. We are joined today by members of the BSU campus community, and I do want to spend just a little bit more time to acknowledge them at this time, because I truly believe that no one does anything on their own. First and foremost, I want to encourage everyone to applaud the President's Cabinet, my co-leaders, the senior leadership team, with members of the President's Cabinet. Please stand to be recognized at this time. This year has marked an extraordinary year filled with outstanding achievements in research, teaching, and scholarly activity, with members of the faculty and our deans please rise at this time so we may applaud you, and they deserve a big, big round of applause, our faculty and our deans. Thank you so very much. I even heard "I love you" out there. How many campuses can say their students shout out "I love you"? That is our BSU. The backbone of our institution are members of the staff who tirelessly dedicate themselves to the success of our students. I'd like to acknowledge, and many of them are not here today because you know where they are. They're out there. They are working so very hard. But each day they look out for our students in so many ways. With members of the staff, if you are here, please rise so we may applaud you at this time. Here at Bowie State University, we adhere to a shared governance model, meaning that as we make important decisions, we get a great deal of input from our shared governance groups, our faculty, staff, and students. I'd like to acknowledge members of the leadership of the shared governance groups, starting with Faculty Senate Chair Dr. Taisha Burks, Staff Council Chair Mr. George Jones, the President of the Graduate Student Association, Mr. Michael McGee, and representing Student Government Association, Samaria Barnes. We also depend on a great many volunteers. As you walked into the venue today, you saw them outside working very hard. I'd like to acknowledge members of our volunteer boards, alumni, friends of the university. If you fall into any one of those groups, and you're all friends of the university, so how about everybody stand up and give yourselves a round of applause, please. And of course, our campus community is laser focused on the student success. And I would like all of our students in the audience, please rise so we may applaud all of your achievements to our students. Finish strong, students, and I look forward to seeing those seniors cross over the stage on May 26th. Bowie State University is the oldest HBCU, founded in 1865. We came from very humble beginnings in the basement of a church on the corner of Calvert and Saratoga Streets in Baltimore City. 2 years later, the Baltimore Association for the Moral and Educational Improvement of Colored People purchased a building in Baltimore, creating the Baltimore Normal School for Colored Teachers. Since 1911, many have traveled this campus here in Prince George's County to obtain their education, and many leaders have helped build and sustain BSU. Leaders such as Don Speed Smith Goodloe, who became the first principal of the Maryland Normal and Industrial School at Bowie. And since its founding, BSU, its leaders, faculty, alumni, and its students have always been an active voice ensuring our youth have access to a quality education and the facilities suitable for producing students who are ready to succeed upon graduation. During the 1960s, under the leadership of Dr. Samuel Myers, our students went to Annapolis to protest the poor infrastructure on campus. And that advocacy for modernizing facilities and state funding continues today. It is important to note that the progress made since then, and this last time that we will be in this facility celebrating Founders Day. This is our last ceremony in this building. So it truly is a remarkable time, but it also marks progress. But I'd like to acknowledge those who are paving the way forward here on this campus and in our community, who are making it possible for us to have the facilities we need for this generation and for future generations. Today, I am pleased to announce that with the support of Wes Moore and his administration and our state legislators and county leadership, Angela Alsobrooks, BSU will begin a new capital project, the design and planning for a new library that will be on this footprint. as we move forward with new construction. Preliminary design ideas consist of a library and academic commons, an area where lifelong learners come to study and find educational opportunities beyond completion of their degrees, and other wraparound services. This building will also, the new library will also engage students and faculty, integrate technology, provide support for students, and encourage and create an atmosphere for learning. That's what we're here to do. The future of BSU, I'm here to tell you today, is very bright. It is bright because of all of those individuals, those constituents I announced earlier, and the many, many friends and supporters that we have joining us on this educational race to excellence journey. Today, we continue to increase enrollment by welcoming students from 40 states and 46 foreign countries. And as we have always done, we embrace diversity and continue to open our doors to all. The hard work and dedication of our faculty, staff, and all others have led Bowie State University to reach greater heights and achievements. We have moved up significantly in the national rankings from a top 25 HBCU just last year to number 18 among the top 20 HBCUs, according to U.S. News and World Reports. And we remain as a top 5 university for producing African American graduates in STEM fields, including nursing, biology, and computer and information sciences. You can applaud for that. Among faculty achievements this year, we have seen faculty achieve large research grants. As one of the most recent awards, a $5 million grant awarded to the department by the Department of Education to increase counselors and mental health support in nearby school districts. Give our faculty and those who led the way for that $5 million grant a round of applause. And then earlier this year, we made the historic announcement of our participation in the first university-affiliated research center at an HBCU, and through the leadership of our computer science chair and faculty, BSU will be a part of a $90 million grant, a contract with Howard University for a research development effort, bringing $4.25 million to BSU. That deserves a round of applause. And in addition, we are realizing greater opportunities and grant and contract awards as faculty and students conduct research that addresses the most critical issues of our time, from the teacher shortage to food insecurity to social justice and criminal justice and so many other issues. Our faculty, staff, and alumni in the fine and performing arts have been recognized on stage and behind the scenes, and our communications majors continue to use their talents in front and behind the cameras. Among the highlights for this year, we have seen our students excel in academics, faculty-student research, and also take their place in the limelight. 2 extraordinary Bulldogs epitomize what it means to be Bowie bold. One was just recognized this Monday evening on this campus by the College of Arts and Sciences for his amazing achievement on Broadway as Michael Jackson in MJ the Musical, and as a Grammy nominee. Let us all applaud Miles Frost. And another exemplar, Justina Miles, delighted everyone this year with her signing interpretation of performances during the Super Bowl that rightfully went viral on social media. We are so proud of our Bulldogs, those exemplars who epitomize Bowie Bowl, but they represent the excellence among our students here at BSU. Students, let's give all of our students a rousing round of applause. And with the world rapidly changing, we are proud that we are infusing our curriculums and non-curricular opportunities for our students to achieve an entrepreneurial mindset, prepared to enter any workplace to create their own business or product or contribute to any workplace environment. These are just some of the highlights of how we hold up the legacies of those who came before. So as I take my seat and we continue on with the program, and as we prepare for our keynote speaker, I want to leave you with this charge. Look to the future, but reflect on the past. Remember our history and celebrate the achievements of Bowie State University. Celebrate each other every day. That's what we have done for over 150 years, getting students to where they need to be in their communities and throughout their life. And forever remain HBCU proud and Bowie bold. Thank you. Let's have a great celebration.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samaria Barnes, a graduating senior communications major with a concentration in broadcast journalism, and I have the privilege of speaking to you all today on behalf of the EPIC Administration of Student Government Association. We gather here today to honor our delicate legacy that has been left to us by our founders, a legacy that has taught us to never take no for an answer, to never stop going despite the circumstances. As the current executive secretary for SGA, this legacy resonates with me because I would have never seen myself in this position, but it was God in my journey that brought me here. My freshman year, I had dreams of becoming a student leader, perhaps the next SGA president. I ran from as freshman and lost. Then the summer coming to my sophomore year, God blessed me with a beautiful baby. Though words can't describe the love I have for her, I thought my dreams of becoming the student leader that I wanted were crushed. But the community here at BSU didn't allow me to lose sight of the bigger picture. We all know it takes a village to raise a child, which some of you have helped me do, but it also takes a village to raise a student. Without my village, I wouldn't be where I am today. It took my professors giving me grace with deadlines, my on-campus mentors guiding me, my friends becoming aunties and uncles, and my advisors even giving me the opportunity to participate in student leadership. With them, my no from freshman year turned into a Dean's List recipient for the fall 22 semester. Thank you. 3 years of SGA involvement, 3 years as a new student orientation leader, a cheerleader since my freshman year, a member of the Student Parent Association, and the Miss Omega for the Epsilon Sigma chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and the mother my daughter deserves. To BSU 26 and current students and future classes to come, I hope you take advantage of the village Bowie State has here for you. As our flame of faith and torch of truth show us daily, don't ever allow anything to dim your light. Our founders set the example for us, and it is only right that we honor their legacy and be bold leaders on campus and in life. So Bulldogs, always remember, the one no may turn you to the direction of 1,000 yeses. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes, for those inspirational words. We will now hear from Mr. Michael McGee, President of the Graduate Student Association.
Good morning. Once again, good morning, students, faculty, administration, special guests, And a special good morning to our president of Bowie State University, Dr. Amita Bro. So, as we travel back into the timeline, as we travel back into our time machine, and we see the birth of our beloved Bowie State University, we must consider the struggles, the success that we as a people had to go through just to be here in this moment in time. On January the 9th, 1865, Baltimore Normal School for Colored Teachers were birthed. Also, in 1865, two major events happened. Abraham Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment to the Constitution that outlawed the enslavement in the United States of black people. And secondly, June the 19th, 1865. Over 6 months later, black Americans in Texas received news that enslavement has ended. This date is now celebrated as Juneteenth, and we continue to rise. The school was renamed in 1914 as the Maryland Normal and Industrial School at Bowie. Also in 1914, Phi Beta Sigma was founded on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C. Go, Mob! And we continue to rise. The school was renamed in 1935 as the Maryland Teachers College at Bowie. Also in that year, December the 5th, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune establishes the National Council of Negro Women, calling for more than 28 leaders of national women organizations together. This was the first national council comprised of black women organizations, and we continue to rise. The school was renamed Bowie State University in 1988. Also, in that same year, Jesse Jackson seeks the Democratic Party presidential nomination for the second time, setting the groundwork for the first African-American president of the United States, former two-time President Barack Obama. Also in that same year, Temple University offers the first PhD in African-American studies. And guess what, y'all? We continue to rise. With so much history of being the first trailblazers throughout the years, I would be remiss if I did not mention in 2017, the first African-American woman president of Bowie State University was hired, Dr. Amita H. Bro. And we continue to rise, okay? Bowie State University stands as a shining beacon of hope, tenacity, and boldness. As the first HBCU in Maryland, we are setting trails for others to follow. Bowie State University is making history, and we continue to rise. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Another round of applause for Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee will be walking across that stage May 26th. He will be graduating. Congratulations. We will now hear from Mr. Darren Swain of the BSU National Alumni Association. Do we have Mr. Swain with us today? Mr. Swain.
Hello. First of all, let me give honor to God for being here today. That's right. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's get this thing started right. I am just so delighted to be with you today to just bring a few words on behalf of the National Alumni Association. But I'm more so excited because I have an opportunity to bring words on the day that a good friend, both he and his wife, are here to celebrate with us here at Bowie State University, and really to be recognized for the great work that they've done. So Ramonda, who not only is a friend, but she's my constitutionally bound sister in Zeta Phi Beta, please stand so we can give you a round of applause. And Derrick, I know you're gonna but you stand too, because you deserve it as well. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you both, and I love you both. Let me just say that a couple things before I take my seat. One is that I sort of dread because as we look and we recognize all of some of the racial strife that's taking place in our country right now and the gun violence, we have to make sure that we as a people and as a community try to put an end to it in whichever way that we can. So I just want us to just think about that, because no 16-year-old should have to go to the hospital after being shot for just making a mistake of ringing a doorbell. Jesus. So I had to get that out. I was just brought on me. But I also wanted to say hello because I think about Founders Day, and I'm excited about Founders Day because the racial strife that we deal with today is something that we don't have to deal with. There was a coming together of white men who came together in 1865 under the leadership of Mr. Cushing to help establish Bowie State University. So when I think about that, I know that there's an opportunity, there's a place in somebody's heart somewhere that when the right thing is called upon to do, that they can do it, So we have to do that. It brings me to my thinking about our establishment in 1865 in the basement of the African Baptist Church on the corner of Saratoga and Calvert Street in Baltimore, Maryland, when we started in that basement, right? But then I fast forward now to, as Dr. Bro just brought to our attention, the monies that we just gathered to get the new Thurgood Marshall Library that would be built here at Bowie State University. And as you all see, just springing from the ground, the new Martin Luther King Center that will be the next home of the Founders Day on next year. So we are moving in the right direction, and I must say that we are moving fast. But we don't stop there. I think about the leadership in Mr. Don Speed Goodloe, who not only gave of his service, but gave of his generosity, and that still exists today because the MARC train station that we celebrate and that we use every day was his property, right? Mr. Don Speed Goodloe. But our leadership didn't stop there. It came with Dr. Bro came as the 10th president. You know, she is the first woman president of Bowie State University. We got to give her a round of applause for that. Absolutely. And her leadership continues to break barriers and blaze paths for Bowie State University that most people just marvel at here in the state of Maryland. But Founders Day really is about the achievement of who we're going to hear from in just a little bit. It's about what those men who came together and decided to start Bowie State University, it was about the achievement of what could be in the future. So Ramonda and Derrick, I applaud you, and you are that achievement that those people who started Bowie State University back in 1865, you are what they thought about, you are what they saw in the future. So I just want to say on behalf of the National Alumni Association, thank you so very much for being here with us. Thank you so very much, because you know this we can go back to the Wiseman Center. You know, we go back to the Wiseman Center when Derrick and Ramonda came up, when we called on them to come and provide their books here for the students at Bowie State University. They came and they showed up. So I say thank you so very much for your continuation of service, for your continuation of all that you do. And I think we have a small token. I know he's going to be receiving something in the future, but on behalf of the National Alumni Association, Derrick, we want to present to you this presidential citation here that says a citation of service and achievement your service as a community leader par excellence, your creative genius and founding of MahoganyBooks, and your devotion to the Bowie State University are exemplary. May the flame of faith and the torch of truth continue to guide you in your journey to greatness. Presented on this day, here, April 19th, 2023, Bowie State University.
BSU.
Thank you, Mr. Swain, and thank you for leading the way with our alumni at BSU and for all that you do to support your alma mater. We will hear now from Ms. Shari Hathaway Fleming, Plan Giving Officer for Institutional Advancement.
Good morning, everyone. During our Founders Day, we honor the legacy of our alumni, students, faculty, staff, and friends who embody what it means to race to excellence and to be Bowie bold. I am Shari Fleming, BSU's Plan Giving Officer within the Division of Philanthropic Engagement. I have the distinct honor of sharing with you the story of Mr. Nelson Wells. Raise your hand if you've heard the story of Mr. Nelson Wells. Well, by this time tomorrow, you will be able to raise your hand. Please also see the story in your program. Born in 1986, Mr. Wells operated a successful business transporting goods. Like so many of our ancestors, not much is known about his early life, but we do know he was married to his wife, Mary Lee Wells, in March of 1814. Also, his name appeared in Baltimore public records as an owner of real property in 1818. You can imagine the kind of tenacity and vision it took for a former slave to transcend being someone else's property to owning his own property and building a family. Our history is rich and full of unsung heroes like Nelson Wells, who triumphed over the shackles of bondage to forge legacies that have surpassed generations. Because of a single intentional act of philanthropy, Nelson Wells is responsible for us gathering here today. On his deathbed, Mr. Wells drafted a will with letters of instruction. In his will, he ordered the executor of his estate to pay all of his outstanding debts. He left his household furnishings and a few parcels of real estate to his wife, and he provided his wife with a life income from all remaining real property. Nelson Wells died on February 11th, 1943. His will was admitted to probate, and his property was transferred accordingly. He was a true man of honor, duty, and character. After the death of Mrs. Wells, the Wells Trust invested the property within the trust to support the Wells Free School and the Ellen Wood Infant School, which were schools to educate free Black children. Trustees formally donated $3,500 to the Baltimore Normal School for Colored Teachers, which later became known as Bowie State University. This donation is equivalent to today's purchasing power of about $25,998.52. Think about it. A visionary who was born into bondage still managed to plant seeds that outlived him and thrived to this day to form the university we celebrate today on Founders Day. Far ahead of his time, Mr. Nelson Wells also understood the importance of supporting his vision and cementing his legacy, and he utilized estate planning to extend his desires and values beyond his lifetime. Today, all of the incredible growth and excellence at Bowie State University that we've spoken about earlier today is because of his initial gift. As such, Nelson Wells' legacy will forever be the root of Bowie State University's history, and we honor him as the namesake of the Nelson Wells Legacy Society, which recognizes members of the Bowie State community of alumni and supporters who are expressing their hopes values, and vision for Bowie State into the future by remembering the university through their personal estate plans. So, I invite you to learn more about the story of Nelson Wells and his legacy of giving that created Maryland's first HBCU. I also invite our community members to emulate Nelson Wells by blessing Bowie State with your time, talent, and treasure, however your heart may lead you. Again, it is my role as the university's plant giving officer to assist you in this process, and I would be happy to speak to you at any point. Like Nelson Wells, you can plant a seed that will benefit generations to come. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming. At this time, I would like to take a few minutes to acknowledge those in the Bowie State University community who have passed away in the last year. Family members, please stand when your loved one's name is announced. Staff member, Mr. Alwyn D. Saunders, warehouse supervisor and office with the Office of Procurement. Faculty member, Dr. George S. Sochin, August 15, 1950 to December 23, 2022. Professor of History with the Department of History and Government. Ms. Charlotte Marie Williams, born October 6, 1951, and passed on November 20th, 2022. She was retired from the university as the coordinator of financial aid programs for the Office of Financial Aid, Division of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs. And Bowie State University student, Ms. Mariah Narain, born February 27th, 2001, and passed September 11th, 2022. A business administration major who was killed in a hit-and-run accident on a Sunday morning. Let us remember them at this time. God bless to the families, and know that Bowie State University will always be with you. Once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Your family is here for you. And now, we will hear a special musical presentation, celebration from the musical celebration performed by Golden Treble.
Good morning. I am pleased to present a new group, the Golden Troubles. It is a combination of our fine and performing arts, theater art students, and music department students as well. We are actually going to switch our selection so that this feels more appropriate in this space of memoriam. So the selection that will be entitled is Stand Up. Our soloist is BSU student Kayla Adams. We will come back with Celebration.
Turn to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes on the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night.
That's why I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards a separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I gotta make a mind. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on. And I know words around a bend might be hard to face as I'm alone. And I just might fail, but Lord knows I've tried. Sure as stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Thank you, Professor Felder and Golden Treble. Another round of applause, wow. Next, join me in welcoming Ms. Giovannia Marie Gabrielle Jones, President of the Black African Student Psychology Association, to take the stage to introduce the speaker for the hour.
Greetings, President Bro, Provost, distinguished guests, and fellow colleagues. My name is Giovannia Jones, and I'm from Essex County, New Jersey, where I received my bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in women and gender studies and dance from New Jersey City University. I am the first-year master's student studying mental health counseling and serve as the current president for the African Psychology Student Association. I would like to thank Michael McGee, and Ms. Wedderburn for presenting this opportunity to me. I would also like to thank the Department of Counseling and APSA for their overpouring amount of support. I am very pleased to be here today and to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Derrick A. Young, this morning. Mahogany Bookstores is the brainchild of Derrick A. Young. Derrick's passion for reading was nurtured by his mother and his love for comics books. As a chief visionary and strategist for Mahogany Books, Derrick is a social entrepreneur who is deeply committed to promoting literacy and cultural awareness as a tool to improve self-esteem, self-love, and ultimately our communities. Derrick is the owner of Mahogany Books, a national recognized and award-winning independent bookstore co-founded with his wife, Ramonda Lark Young. The bookstore is named after their daughter, Mahogany. Mahogany Books is the primary destination for books written for, by, and about people of African descent, with physical location in the historic Anacostia County, Anacostia community of DC, and National Harbor in Prince George's County, Maryland. Under Derrick's leadership, Mahogany's book has become a culture and community enterprise that provides a space and platform for local and national authors, celebrity writers, and community leaders. Over the years, Mahogany Book has featured President Barack Obama, U.S. Representative John Lewis, April Ryan, Ta-Nehisi Coates, Jason Reynolds, Misty Copeland, Gabrielle Union, and DC's Mayor for Life, Marion Barry, among others. Derrick understands that cultural relevant books are essential to equipping children with identity, self-esteem, and innovative thinking. He works tirelessly to promote literacy and partner Mahogany Books with like-minded businesses and community organizations to increase awareness and access to such books, especially for youth. Born in Washington, D.C., and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, Derrick is a proud alumni of Bowie State University. He also remains an avid comic book collector. Next, we will have a musical selection and then followed by our guest speaker, Mr. Derrick A. Young.
What's going on, y'all? How you doing today? That was awesome. The music, the musicians, fantastic. I am excited to be here today. My name is Derrick Young. I am a Bowie State graduate, 1999, business major. This is an incredible opportunity, and I really appreciate it. I came here as an extremely shy and reclusive student during my first semester on campus, and now I'm here as the 2023 keynote speaker at my much beloved Bowie State University Founders Day. I am honored and appreciative of this opportunity to pay forward a small piece of all that was given to me by this incredible institution. But before I go into my story and have you all enamored by my wit and perspective, I want to first thank University President Dr. Aminta Bro for your incredible vision, the Board of Visitors for the incredible vision, advisement you provide, Carla Hopkins for nominating me to be today's speaker, Brother Darren Swain and Miss Annette Wedderburn for your friendship over a decade plus of supporting us, but most especially I want to thank my wife. You are my biggest cheerleader. Even when I'm unsure of myself, I really appreciate it. You're my business partner, my life partner. I'm committed to living my best life for you. So that's brownie points later, so fellas, please pay attention. So here we go. Bowie State University Founders Day, Honor and Legacy. We all know the story. We've heard it up here. This incredible school was founded on January 9th, 1865 in Baltimore, Maryland. But there's some info I wasn't aware of, and thank you to the producers and creators of that incredible 150th anniversary video. Took some notes there. One of the many nuggets that stood out to me in a video was after years of underfunding by the state, it was a businessman, spoken about today, a freed black man named Nelson Wells, who trust gifted the school over $3,500 from his endowment. What I especially love about this fact is that Mr. Wells originally set this up as an endowment in 1843 to educate free black children. This man went from enslavement to freedom, to business ownership, to philanthropist under extreme circumstances. This is our history. This is our heritage. And this is just one of the many stories over the past 180 years that define the honor and legacy we all feel as members of this great institution. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I feel proud when I hear that story. I feel connected, I feel motivated, and it was these feelings I was in search of as a first-year student here at Bowie State. From 1995, don't laugh, to 1997, I was a young man in search of purpose, in search of identity, in need of connection. And what found me one day while walking aimlessly through Landover Mall, I said, don't laugh at me, was a bookstore whose premise, the entire premise, was our story mattered. My story mattered. I just had to take the time to find it in the pages of the books written for and by people that look like me. I was so impacted by that story that right then and there I asked the brother behind the counter if they were hiring. What a monumental moment, a life-altering moment for me. I went from not only being a student at Bowie State University, engaging with peers and faculty who encouraged and supported me, but to also having a job that not only opened my eyes to the impact that a business can have on its community, but also gave me immediate access to the books and mentorship that would help shape me into the man I am today. Simply put, what I learned in those 2 years is this: Black books matter. Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton, Asada by Asada Shakur, Know Thyself by Dr. Naim Akbar, Breaking the Chains of Psychological Slavery by Dr. Naim Akbar, So Far So Good by Gil Scott Heron, The Seventh Octave by Saul Williams, 2,000 Seasons by Aikwe Arma. These books gave me purpose, ignited my passion, sparked my creativity, and helped me uncover my identity. I just gotta say it again, y'all. Black books matter. They matter because the person who tells your story defines your outcome. It was Carter G. Woodson who wrote in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro, if you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself with what he will do. I'm gonna say that again. If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. Take a moment to imagine what it must have felt like to walk on this campus as a student, absorbing its culture and commitment to overcoming, culture of overcoming and commitment to service. Imagine being a young man engaging in conversations with students from all walks of life, different philosophies, opinions, and finding the conviction to develop and stand fully in my own personal values. Think about the maturation a person undertakes at this institution of higher learning when professors challenge and teach to the whole student. And finally, all of this was happening while I was receiving a master class in social entrepreneurship. Through the mentorship of a job that cares for its community, it was here that I developed the strength and fortitude to think for myself as a lifelong learner through books written for and by us. Say it with me. Black books matter. Black books matter. How could I not revere my 4 years on this campus? Upon my graduation from Bowie State University, I was reborn Derrick Andre Young, no longer a shy and reclusive person, but now a shy and passionate person with a purpose, a business plan, and a commitment to leave a legacy rooted in love for Black people. This version of myself was willing to take chances, fail and get back up. I was willing to face my fears of speaking in front of large crowds, and most importantly, I was determined to meld business and literary arts into a tool that empowered my community. Now, the second half of my talk is where the story really begins in earnest. How really committed was I to all that I learned during my time here? Am I really about that life when the protections of these walls fade away, when the safety net of my parents' income is gone bye-bye? How do I navigate passion and purpose when rent and this pesky need to eat is always hanging around? That's what I was confronted with between the years of 1999 and 2017. Did we launch our website in 2007? Yes, sure we did. But when you're making about $10,000 a year and somehow spending 15, you realize the grind is real. Look, it wasn't always pretty. I made mistakes. We had setbacks. I lost focus a good number of times. But thankfully, although I no longer had the comfort of Holmes Hall or my professors to direct my work, I still had my friends. I had my wife. It was these people, those that I met in college, others from my teen years, and yet more that I met as a young professional that cheered my vision and encouraged my grind. It was also books like The Beautiful Struggle, Buck, and Born a Crime that kept my fire lit for Black books. But ultimately, it was a line from another of my favorite poets, Brother Tupac Shakur, that helped me channel my focus. The lyric is, now, bear with me, get my weight up with my hate and pay them back when I'm bigger. I understand that line can be seen as very brash, in your face. However, there's no way for me to convey my anger and dismay at how retailers and publishers were using books to tell our story to the American public. What Tupac is encouraging the listener to do in that lyric is to identify your motivation, refine it to a precision point, and do the work. Grind until you surpass everyone that overlooked you, then look back and stick your tongue out at them. It was anger that I felt when I walked into a bookstore over 10,000 square feet in size, but less than 2% of their books were written by us. Why should I accept that when I seen a 400 square foot store, Black-owned bookstore, carry triple the inventory on their shelves than one with the resources and opportunity to make us a priority in their business strategy? It was angst I felt when I walked my elementary-age child into a large bookstore, a chain bookstore, for Black History Month, and the best they could do was offer us 5 fictional books about Black kids either running away from slavery or living during a Reconstruction era. Was this the full extent of what the buyers, merchandisers, and publishers thought of the Black experience in America? What did Carter G. Woodson say? If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. And we are watching in real time, right now, the outrage that bursts forward when we take control of our own narrative. We are witnessing the backlash to our audacity to write ourselves into the American story and challenge the myth of manifest destiny. Think about the outcry in recent years to the following works: The Case for Reparations by Ta-Nehisi Coates, The 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah-Jones, Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram Kendi, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Jackson, All American Boys by Jason Reynolds, Heavy by Kiese Layman. Each of these books either challenged or banned in the past few years, and to be clear, MahoganyBooks has either collaborated or hosted each of these authors for a community talk and author discussion in the recent past. But what do all these books have in common? What drove people to either challenge or ban these books? Well, each one of them in their own way challenges racial stereotypes, gender tropes, and the status quo of a silent ideology that says America works best when we adhere to a certain hierarchy. And whether you agree or disagree with the book, hate it or love it, they are books that should at least have the choice for you to purchase, for you to borrow, or you can just leave it on the shelf. I can't imagine what I'd be doing today if someone took away the chance for me to read Huey P. Newton's book. Here are some data points before I begin to wrap up. In 2020, there are a grand total of 156 banned books in the US. In 2021, that number skyrocketed to 729. And in 2022, the number of banned books hit over 1,200 books across the US. How did that Woodson quote begin again? If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. I don't know about you, but I love learning that I come from a long line of freedom fighters: Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, Shirley Chisholm, Nelson Wells, Don S.S. Goodloe. Having a firm understanding of my connection to these great people who sacrificed and fought for the freedom is core to my identity. And the books that teach me about them and their inner strength to stand as God created them reinforce me when I fall or feel overwhelmed. Your identity is one of the most precious gifts, and the information you choose to secure it with can determine the strength of your resolve to walk in your purpose. It's why I'm committed to this vision, to add my name to this esteemed lineage of Black booksellers, from Sankofa Books to Human, Pyramid, and Esselwan, Marcus Books, and Karibu, just to name a few. Just as those elders in the bookselling community serve to empower, inform, and inspire others, it's now our turn to make accessible the books that will change and encourage this generation. In the 1960s, it was a push to derail the civil rights and Black power movement. Today is outrage against critical race theory and woke culture. No matter the year or the framing, the aim is the same. Someone else wants to narrate our story. Someone else wants to control our actions. And to do that, we say, Black Books Matter. We will narrate our own story. We will define ourselves for ourselves and stand proudly in that history, the heritage and the culture of our people. I'm again thankful for the opportunity to share with you today. I am humbled to be back here after having accomplished just a few of my goals. I hope I will get an A on this presentation. Didn't know my first one. And I pray that at least one person today who's listening to me is inspired. As I think back to Nelson Wells, a man who simply wanted to live as a free person, persevered against tremendous odds, and create a platform to which to help educate the next generation, I am honored to be a part of his legacy. I am honored to be connected to him and to everyone else who has worked and contributed to make Bowie State University the place I love so much. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams, but we don't know that unless we know what they went through. That's why Black books matter. So in summation, my favorite quote from Marcus Garvey, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, or culture is like a tree without roots. Thank you so much.
A++. Thank you, Mr. Young, for that powerful, powerful message and so inspiring. And thank you for all that you do to shine the light on excellence here at BSU by being just who you are and the leader you are. We thank you. We thank your wife, Ramonda, for co-founding MahoganyBooks. And thank you again for giving that message where it wakes us up to make sure that we're doing everything we can to ensure everyone knows beyond this place, Black books matter. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful presentation. Please join me to the podium. We'd like to present you with a small token of appreciation from Bowie State University on behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of BSU. Thank you so much. We will now hear a musical selection from the Golden Treble under the direction of Professor Felder.
The Golden Troubles will be performing Celebration from the 1969 musical Celebration from Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt. We are like those ancient people in that day. We've gathered sometimes, and although our nights may be dark, we hope for signs. Our hope can seem even frozen. But if you just assist us with your imagination, we will make this humble space, this humble university, a place for celebration.
People say that today is the day when the wind will rise and blow the world away, and it may
Please welcome him.
Good morning. Good morning to our amazing 10th president of Bowie State University, President Bro. I would like to acknowledge our illustrious deans. I would ask them to please stand behind me. To our talented and gifted students, the best student body in all of the nation. To our trailblazing alumni, Mr. Swain, Mr. Young, and others. To the best faculty in all of the world, please give them a recognition. And to our devoted and committed staff, good morning. I have great pleasure standing here before you as we celebrate 158 years of our Founders Day. I am honored and I am privileged. Today we recognize the honor of our Dean's List recipients who have embodied being Bowie bold by continuing to strive for academic excellence. These students have earned a GPA of 3.5 or higher during the fall 2022 semester. They have demonstrated their commitment to academic excellence through their sacrifice, time, energy, and earning this significant distinction. Please join me as I ask for all of our fall 2022 Dean's List recipients to please rise. Continue to stand for me 1 quick minute. Continue to stand. I want you all to know that although this is just some, this past fall semester we had 1,075 students who earned the Dean's List. You will notice these individuals by their special medallions that they are wearing, as well as a t-shirt stating that, again, they are recipients of the fall 22 semester. And let me just also ask, if you have brought your family members to be here to see this, I ask your family members to please rise as well. Thank you all very much, and please be seated. Bulldogs, on behalf of the BSU faculty, deans, administration, and staff, we couldn't be more proud of you. Your hard work, perseverance, resilience will continue to pay off. Your sacrifice and choices get you to one step closer to achieving your goals here at Bowie State University. Continue to step up, continue to be bold, and let this guide you as a remarkable achievement in your future. Congratulations. We will now have closing remarks by Ms. Paige Blake.
Let me lower this because I'm short. Good morning, everyone. My name is Paige Blake. I'm a graduating senior biology major here at the illustrious Bowie State University. I am a native of Prince George's County, Maryland. And I am proud to announce that I'm the first student member of the President's Board of Advisors on HBCUs. Thank you to all of the speakers who have shared remarks on our theme and the founding of our illustrious university. As I reflect on my year, the word that comes to mind is change. As students, we've seen many changes over the past few years, but through it all, what change has taught me is that with the support of our faculty, administration, and our community overall, anything is possible. Ever since I've become a student here at Bowie State University, I've had many opportunities and amazing mentors that have made an impact on my life. When you're the first student to hold a position such as mine, it can be hectic trying to balance everything because at the end of the day, I'm still a student. Though, who was the first to offer me support? My Bowie State community, of course. They have always been there for me no matter what I needed or asked of them. So I would like to encourage you all today to take time to reflect on how you're making the most of your Bowie State experience. It's up to you on what you make of it. Thank you, and happy Founders Day, Bulldogs.
Thank you, everyone, for attending this auspicious day of celebration in honor of the founding of Bowie State University. Please stand for the singing of the alma mater, led by Jamari Blackmon, and remain standing for the retiring of the colors by the Bulldog Battalion ROTC cadets.
Please unmute the keyboard. Thank you.
Happy Founders Day.
Color guard, retrieve the colors. Crew, halt. Left, face. Retrieve. Colors. Left, face. Mark time, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Bowie State University's 158th Founders Day celebration. Our theme for this year, legacy and honor. And how about a round of applause from all of you?